This is going to be a great one for y'all here. We got Lee Bui up against Joe Turrentine, and it is Miraidon EX up against Arceus VSTAR with that Regigas VSTAR. Now, we saw this in the beginning round 4 of San Antonio with Nathan Stratford, I believe. And both him and his brother were able to make it to day 2, so not too bad.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, this is one of those very interesting decks that occasionally pops up. It's just Arceus plus ham sandwich gets the job done over and over again. This time it's going to be the colorless Regigigas VSTAR, and colorless is important as it means you have access to the Sharon's Care that can help out avoid some of those big knockouts throughout this game, and maybe that's an issue that we run into for Lee, as he's trying to find knockouts the easy way with Iron Hands. May not be able to do that.
And taking a look at the list too, it is the Peony version, playing in 2 Iron Hands in here, and this is kind of what Miraidon has evolved into. We saw Nick Robinson get top 8 with this list, pretty much very similar. You really can't tech too many cards in here without ruining the engine.
Yeah, and just focused on that early game consistency, finding those energies off of the generators, and trying to take those early knockouts. If you can take multiple prize cards against those lower hit point Pokemon in the beginning of the matches, you're going to find your way to probably an early game too, and maybe you don't have to worry about the clock throughout this long tournament that we have here.
Now, the way this matchup in particular kind of goes, Joe playing an Arceus VSTAR deck, you want to go first. You can get that energy, then kind of guarantee your Trinity Nova on the second turn. Meanwhile, Miraidon, the way it's been going now, you kind of want to go second.
Yeah, there's the huge window there for Lee to get an early attack off with this new setup of the deck. You can get a lot going, attack often. The problem is going to be that you're dealing with a lot of hit points on the other side, which Joe is going to be leaning on, obviously, with that Arceus V. We did see that Lee does enjoy to play those flip cards. It's something that he prides himself on. He's included 4 copies of Pokemon Catcher.
Listen, I'm not as much of a fan as these flip cards before. They have not
seen a lot of tails in your day,
yeah,
Jeremy.
Yeah. So many tails, you'd think it'd be a 9 tails.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
You should try to get heads. It helps win a lot. That certainly could be an avenue for Lee to find some victory here, as there are some Pokemon that you can target down early on the other side against Joe. We see there's a Bidoof line in there, the 2-2 barrel that you could work on. Maybe that's Spiritomb or Jirachi, whatever Pokemon it may be. Knock out those lower hit point Pokemon, steal some prizes. Maybe you don't have to worry about the big boy at the end.
Well, honestly, too, going first against lone Arceus V, very easy pickings for Miraidon EX.
That math lines up pretty good. I like it. That's something that we'll have to look out for as well. Shake off the jitters. Let's see this opening hand.
Both these players are 4-0 here going into round 5. Great start to the weekend. Looks like Lee is going to start with, I believe, the Raikou V is what I saw. Meanwhile, Joe, not really liking that hand too much.
Saw a lot of psychic energy start things off. That's not exactly our favorite, but we do have some additional help there with the Zacian V inclusion. That could be a way to accelerate more energies if you're not able to use
oh
the
no!
turbos
Oh
early.
no!
That's 3 of them! 3 electric generators! He's going to use this opening peony and be like, wait, how do I do this?
Now you're just left with the deck with 15 lightning energies. 14, I guess, with the one in the prize cards. Double turbo energy to go along with it. Meanwhile, Joe prizing 4 supporters, but the way this Arceus VSTAR deck is built, it's very heavy on a lot of these supporters. I believe 2 of everything in there except for that Judge.
This is wild. Can you imagine for both these players? Joe is worried on the other side after seeing his opening hand, but he has no idea what we're up against here, as we are going to get things underway in round number 5.
The handshake beats the fist bump there, and it looks like Lee is going to go first here, has that Raikou V in the active, and starts with the fleet-footed. Now, this hand, not very good.
Ooh, yeah, a lot of tools, and there is
Pokemon
a
catcher?
Luminion, but you can't use the additional supporter this turn. But I don't think you're worried about being knocked out when you see Arceus V on the other side.
Not at all. Lee has another Pokemon. It is that Luminion. Going to bench it, use that Luminous Sign. Ability to search for a supporter, put it in your hand. It's going to be for next turn, though, so maybe we'll see something like that Peony. Maybe Professor's Research, depending if the hand is just that unplayable.
Certainly can get some good information here. I guess I should hesitate to say good.
Yeah, do you even look for the electric generators when you're looking through the deck? Like,
no, I mean, I suppose you should, but certainly you expect to see those later on. And they're not going to be there, Jeremy.
Professor's Research is the grab for Lee here, though. It's probably just going to have to finish the turn with an energy on the active. And like you were saying before, Arceus VSTAR as a deck does not attack turn 1. Joe does have some options, though, to just try to get a little bit more set up. That Zacian V with the Roar of the Sword ability, able to end the turn by attaching an energy to one of your Pokemon. It does have a Psychic for the turn. Locks
in that there will be no attack this turn. Certainly you could use a Trinity Charge to get some energies, but you're not going to be dealing damage at this point.
Yeah.
And Joe understands this, and this is pretty great. When you have to shuffle your opponent's hand, at least they had a supporter.
Yeah, and that Lumineon V now on the bench, just ready for an Arceus VSTAR to take a knockout. And looking at the hand for Lee, too, does have a Nest Ball, but that's pretty much it. You got that Battle VIP pass, doesn't really do much on your second turn.
Painful.
Joe did find another benched Pokemon in the Arceus V, so we'll at least be able to survive a couple of turns if Lee has everything, but doesn't look like it.
Yeah, in this situation here, clearly you're worried about potentially seeing cards like Pat to the Peak, but that has been kind of removed from lists like this. You don't see it as often from the Miraidon players, so you know that Arceus VSTAR is going to stick around next turn. Now you start to consider, well, do I need to set up an additional Pokemon like that Bidoof so I can continue to find some draw power, or there's some other options here, maybe to focus on an attacker for later stages.
Now, it's always interesting to see the Ultra Ball getting played when you're needing something like an Arceus VSTAR. Could signal that Joe already has one in hand, although I saw Boss's Orders, I didn't see the other card.
It was Arceus VSTAR.
It was? Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
it's pretty
that's
good.
Perfect. So that means Bidoof is probably one of the best choices here. I guess you can go Spiritomb to shut off that Fleet-Footed from the Raikou if you think the hand of Lee's isn't going to be too beneficial, but Zacian V,
cool too.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see Joe's just like, hey, you know what? Let's roar. Let's get this additional energy into play. Now both Arceus V are charged, which is a very strong idea, understanding that for Lee on the other side, it's very likely that you could have an explosive turn, maybe even take a knockout, because that's just the power of Miraidon. But we might not see some generators.
No, yeah. This is... The power's out and the generator's out of gas. That's basically what's going on right here. And I do like spreading the energy a lot, too. Like you were saying, just helps out against the possibility of a knockout. Ultra Ball off the top. Won't do too much. I guess you can find Mew EX, so you can dig a little further with this hand.
Yeah, it doesn't play out the greatest. There's an additional energy that's going to be locked in the hand. This is not like the opening turns where you have access to Squawk ability. You could also have that Lumineon, but that's already played down. So you run into this more awkward stage. Certainly could grab some additional Pokemon with the Miraidon.
Oh yeah, you also have the Nest Ball. That can find Mew.
It's going to play down some more cards from the hand, but you're only drawing up to 3. That leaves a lot open where when you're looking for a supporter card, Jeremy.
I would like to see Tandem Unit before drawing cards here. Just get those basic Pokemon out of the deck. That way you don't have to draw into them. Yep.
Yeah, I think he agrees there. Says, you know what? Let's remove these. Would not like to draw into these Pokemon later on. And it's not like you're going to draw into an additional Pokemon that you'd like to play onto the bench at this point.
And I do like grabbing the second Miraidon here. It's just a very good Pokemon to try to get those attacks off against the regular Arceus V and Zacian V. But doing something against the Arceus VSTAR, not as good. Grabs the Mareep, and with these Peony lists, they have thinned down the line a lot. Just 1-1 in most of these Miraidon lists we've seen, but Dynamotor is such a powerful ability.
Right, those additional energy can be the difference in a game like this, especially when we're considering the lack of generators that we will see in this game.
Oh, and attaching to the Miraidon, no.
Just, you know what, I'll find the cards right.
Right?
Well, you found
Peony.
one card. but it's not going to lead to what you expect.
Can discard this hand now, search for 2 of any trainers. In this spot, double electric generator would be where you want to go, but you're going to be forced to just grab the one left in the deck.
This is where I'd put my generators if I had one. There is one single generator. He's going to check the discard pile and see if there was an Ultra Ball discard. There was not. You were just unfortunate.
And looking at the list, too, there is just the one Nest Ball. This is where you can maybe Nest Ball for the second Mew EX, but does not have that available to him right now, and just finds that Bravery Charm.
You consider all the ways to potentially thin out from this point, but ultimately, you're just trying to find those 2 energies on top out of the top 5. There are some ways to help yourself in situations like this, but you also are looking at the hit points, and it's going to be important for that Raikou to stick around for an additional turn, so certainly understand the play here.
11 Lightning left in the deck.
Oh, no, not here. Oh, there they are.
And
Woo!
with Lee hitting both of those, this means you have the knockout, and that starts the chain of, yeah, I'm going to get electric generator from the prizes now.
You have to, right? Right?
I believe with the way they were laid out, you're at least getting 1 for every 2 prize knockout that you take.
I mean, that is one way to go about this. Just continue to draw prize cards, and you will find them. You know exactly where they are.
Yeah. Fleet-footed draws an extra card for Lee after everything. Great sequencing from here.
Beach Court saves the energy there on the Raikou, and that is going to be a nice early knockout.
Oh, no. Is there a Pokemon catcher in the hand? Is that what he's thinking about?
For what?
I don't know.
I don't want to do anything else. I want to take this knockout. Let's find a generator. Yeah, they're lined up pretty nicely there. Every 2 prize knockout is going to find more potential energies. Keep the train rolling.
Arceus VSTAR hits the board for Joe here. Starbirth, one of the best VSTAR powers to ever come out. Able to search your deck for 2 cards, put them in your hand. Double Turbo Energy is going to be at least one of them, and probably a supporter for the turn. I know there's a Boss's Orders in hand. Maybe you get something like a Choice Belt, Boss's Orders the Raikou, or Boss's Orders the Mew, take the knockout. You do 180. I think that would probably be the best route.
I think there's Boss's Orders in hand already.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so you just find your resources to close out. Would leave you with not much hand left, but you would continue to take prize cards. You're not dealing with the imminent threat of the Miraidon, and a lot of energies stay on board, which makes you tend to worry about cards like the Raichu V coming out of nowhere, taking a big knockout.
So it looks like Nest Ball and Double Turbo Energy were the choice for Joe here. Nest Ball can find the card like that Mew EX to help draw a little bit more cards.
Yeah, just additional thinning that occurs there. Joe wisely thinking about that. When he makes that decision, does not want to run into a Nest Ball later on, and knew he wanted that Mew, so why not take that additional card out of the deck and maybe find the right resources here. What could be potentially a supporter at this point if you're not sold on the boss's play.
I honestly think we might see the boss play before the restart here. Just you're already kind of locked in. The Mew EX is the draw power for Lee's deck. And if you take that out, it's going to be very hard for him to actually find cards without something like a Peony every turn.
Well, this is scary. A lot of energy is going to be left up for Lee, but the knockout is available. And certainly don't blame Joe there for taking those 2 prize cards. Removing the additional draw there for Lee, but you start to worry. Are there enough resources here for Joe to keep up with a potential big knockout on the other side?
Only 2 Psychics left in the deck for
worth
Joe as well. Not grabbing it to attach to the Zacian V. And that is a Trinity Nova for no energies. If Lee can cobble together a big Raichu knockout here, pretty much seals up game 1.
This is almost there. We see Ultra Ball in the hand, an energy, and the... of course, you can always just continue to find more Pokemon with the tandem unit. Ultra Ball could search out the Flaffy. That means it is going to be guaranteed. You can take the big knockout. You'd lose all your energies in play.
But so does Joe.
But
Yeah.
Joe's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, honestly, we'll maybe have to go back if Joe does end up maybe taking this, and maybe it is a good decision to put this 2 energy on the Zacian just so you have an attacker.
There's a psychic in hand. I mean, it's not a great attacker, but at least you continue to put on some pressure.
This is going to be a big electric generator here for Lee. Do you thin out a little bit? No. Just needs 1. Does not get it.
You're still okay.
Yeah, you have Ultra Ball.
Ultra Ball, Flaffy, it's guaranteed. You just have no energy in play afterwards.
No Mew to draw cards.
It's you get to keep what? 1 energy? You're doing 300?
Yeah, it's 5 energies.
Yeah.
So you get to keep 1.
It doesn't feel great, but at least you get the big knockout here.
Honestly, I think it's fine. You keep the 1 on the Raikou, and Beach Court allows for your retreat. Draws the 1 card off Fleet-Footed as Mew. That's probably the best card Lee could find here. Ultra Ball, discard the hand for Flaffy. You can Dynamotor and restart with the Mew. This is looking pretty good right now.
Not much left, but it's all you need. A 1-1 line. It's going to secure that additional energy for the Raichu V. Restart, ready to go into hand. And for Joe, what are we waiting for? Do you have enough time at this point to even consider setting up an additional Pokemon in this game? Or when you see this Flaffy, do you just get ready for game 2?
Looking through the list, it's looking like we're going to be ready for game 2.
Yeah, this is one of the decisions you make with the Arceus box list is you have the early game consistency with Psychic, where you can use the Zacian and get the additional energies, or you can play that water style where you have Melanie and you can come out of nowhere with some big attacks. This is one of those situations where you cannot accelerate energies to the point that you need.
Does get rid of the 5 energy needed to take the 1-hit knockout. 300 damage thanks to the Dynamic Spark. Lee finds another electric generator from the prize cards along with that double turbo energy, and looking very good for this game 1 here. Joe has just a Psychic Energy in hand, has Iono, just decides to play Iono, but I do not see a good route to try to win this game 1 here.
Yeah, we're an energy away at this point. The Flaffy guarantees 1, and then if you're able to draw into it, you have the knockout lined up with the Miraidon. Seems like a difficult hill to climb, but Joe's going to try.
One thing to actually note, too, is Joe is playing 3 Paths of the Peak in this list. Would have been a very good card to stop all these abilities from Lee's side of the board. Has not been able to find any of them.
Wow. Just Jet Energy to the active and pass. Lightning Energy ready to go, and that is going to be a quick game 1. Did not look like that from the beginning prize cards for Lee, but he's going to escape that and take the early victory here in round 5.
Listen, I'm calling it now. It might be Miraidon's tournament. If you're able to use your 1 electric generator for 2 lightning energies, it's going to be a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, and then your opponent just chooses not to get energies and attack you.
Yeah.
That's also a nice thing to witness, but you can understand from Joe's side, he's trying to line up the math for maybe knocking out with the boss's orders on the Luminion. He needed 3 Psychic Energies there, 1 from the hand. It just wasn't lined up, so wasn't able to chain together back-to-back knockouts, but he was going to be in trouble anyways. After we saw that generator find multiple energies, Lee just opens it up and takes a 300 damage knockout, and there's not much left.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of wasting time here for Joe, honestly. There was not much you can do in this position. Having access to Beach Court and Flaffy really just makes this deck too good.
Well, you talked about the ability for Arceus. Loves to go first, and then also for Lee, you'd expect Lee would want to go second in this matchup, but Lee went first.
Yeah.
Who won the coin flip there? Do you think that Lee just won the coin flip and said, I don't like when Arceus decks go first against me?
I think that might be the route, yeah. Just because Miraidon historically has a pretty good Arceus VSTAR matchup. Just being able to apply a lot of early game pressure. Yeah, if you get 2 Arceus V down, it's fine, but like we saw there, you go very scripted of take a knockout on that Arceus V, Raichu that Arceus VSTAR.
Yep. It's very easy to deal 220 and then follow that up with the 300 from the Raichu. It worked out perfectly there. We did not see the Path to the Peaks find their way into play for Joe, and he's looking at this hand disgusted.
Triple Arceus V, double Boss's Orders, double Turbo Energy V-Barrel, I believe.
It's not good.
Flaffy in the prize cards for Lee, along with that Zapdos. Zapdos doesn't really do too much here outside of Regigas V.
Oh, good. If Joe does take a prize, he'll draw another Arceus V. That's what you love to see.
Now, Joe does have that turn 1 energy here, but is going to play it on the bench just because of Lee's ability to take knock on the active. But that is why Lee plays Pokemon Catcher.
Let's see if you get it.
Oh.
Joe says, I know you play catchers, but let's see if you get it.
Does have 2 in hand.
It's a huge worry here. You did not find that Zacian. You don't get that extra energy accelerated. Oh, man.
Heads.
Oh, man. Pokemon Catcher heads.
Now, Lee did draw an electric generator, which is not what you want to see when you're going to be Peony. But here we go, discarding the hand, 2 basic lightning, that Pokemon Catcher, and escape rope.
Wow, could you imagine this hand with a Miraidon in it?
Oh,
It would have been unreal to have the generator ready to go, charge up your favorite Pokemon in this instance, would be likely the Miraidon, and then Peony just lines up everything from that point. You already have your pivot Pokemon in the active spot.
Okay, one thing that's actually pretty big right here, Lee, so with this Miraidon list, we've seen a multitude of different counts of Battle VIP Pass. Lee's playing 1.
Okay.
It's in the prize cards.
Oh. That is worrisome. This means that Lee is going to consider Nest Ball in this case to maybe find a Pokemon like that Squawkabilly.
But then you don't have access to Miraidon, so you can't get something like Electric Generator and just burn it here. So I think, yeah, we're just going to Nest Ball for Miraidon, Electric Generator, and then hope to draw something with Restart here.
That's the way that it's got to be from this point. It's so awkward. You don't think about often needing a card like Battle VIP Pass, but in this instance, it would be huge to find both the Miraidon and that Squawkabilly. It almost guarantees that you're going to have every card necessary, and now there's a bit of risk.
Now Lee eyeing down a Raichu V and Miraidon here. Could go with the second Miraidon, decides not to.
I have Mew, I guess.
And then we're going to see a big electric generator here, and then an even bigger restart.
Well, Mareep is taken, although Flaffy's in the prize cards.
Yep.
I wanted to get one this turn.
These are going to be very important cards to see.
All right. Big top 5 here after the shuffle. Electric generator first.
Yes, let's see those energies potentially. 1.
Oh, that would have been a good hand to restart into.
Wow, so close. Honestly, you find 2 there. It's a lot easier to find what you need off of the restart.
All right, restart into electric generator for 2 lightning is the play for Lee. I guess you could find electric generator for 1 and just an energy from hand, but
Yep, you could also find maybe a Nest Ball to find Squawkabilly
nope,
and continue.
already used the Nest Ball.
Well,
Has to be Ultra Ball,
ooh.
discard the 2 cards, Squawk. Is that double Pokemon Catcher again?
And
Oh no, Beach Court Pokemon
Luminion and a
Catcher.
Beach Court. So look at how this worked out. Lee now wants to Pokemon Catcher this Pokemon away. And it works.
Oh wow.
That was such a strategic move.
Calculated there.
Yeah, Joe saying it's such a strategic move here. Joe draws the Psychic Energy. No way to get Arceus VSTAR in play. I think we're just going to Boss's Orders. I don't know. Why even Boss's Orders? Yeah, I think we're just going to pass.
Boss's orders, Miraidon.
Wow.
Miraidon, oh, I guess, yeah.
You
Stops the electric generator.
You can't generator to this Pokemon with it in the active spot. Joe trying to find ways to stick around, and
This is the true game of Pokemon here, you know? Draw, pass.
there is Luminion.
Oh, no, yeah, it's pretty good for Lee.
So Lee now considering, do I just look at one card with restart or find that supporter?
Yeah, Iron Hand's not really the Pokemon it wants to be in this matchup. Tandem Unit does find another Miraidon EX here. You can go ahead and grab the Raikou, but I think another Mew EX on the bench would be even better.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you consider your attackers to close out in a game like this.
I guess Luminion.
It's just going to be Miraidon, Raichu, likely, to get the job done. And here we go. The hand is gone. Generators are available. And at least there's beach court to move around.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Lee draws into like the 4th Pokemon catcher?
Don't say that.
I can't believe you counter-captured it back so I couldn't Trinity charge.
Both players having a great time with the fact that this is one of the most ridiculous openings we've seen in a long time.
Top 5 here. Oh, it's all energies, basically. 2 energies on that Miraidon. Just needs some simple energy from the hand to be able to take a knockout with Photon Blast.
You make it sound so easy, Jeremy. And now I'm worried about this next generator.
It's fine. Lee knows how to play generators, right?
All
We
right.
got one.
That will be plenty at this point.
That Miraidon had no energy on it.
Of course, taking this prize, these 2 prize cards, means that Joe does get to promote a Pokemon that he'd rather have in the active spot, but this hand is abysmal. There's nothing going on. It has to be basically a great supporter or Arceus VSTAR top deck in order to keep up with the power of Miraidon here.
All right, Restart finds a Professor's Research for next turn. For your treat, thanks to that beach court. And we're going to get a big knockout here from Lee. Attaches the energy to the hand to that Miraidon on the bench and threatening a lot.
Yep, this is the plan from this point. You've taken those 2 prize cards. If you can get 2 more from Miraidon, Raichu basically closes out. That is a Psychic Energy top deck.
Yep.
You can deal 110.
All right, I've got a very strategic.
What are we doing here? Oh, the strategic moves are back in order. There's another boss.
Yeah, that doesn't help now with the beach court in play.
There's no Pokemon that you'd like to grab, really.
Oh, this has been a rough outing for all those Arceus VSTAR fans
Trinity charge.
out in the crowd.
Trinity Charge basically thinning at this point to try to find a top deck. I would grab more.
Yeah.
I would put them on the active. I don't care at this point. I need these energies out of here.
Usually thinning is winning. Right now it's losing.
It's barely hanging on.
Bravery Charm could be a pretty good card to help keep that Mew EX around for a little bit longer if Joe actually does get set up in his next turn or 2. Lee does have the Ultra Ball, discard Lost Vacuum and Battle VIP Pass. Will not find anything because that Flaffy is in the prize cards. And this will definitely signal to Joe that it is there.
Based off body posture, who do you think's winning right now?
Is it Lee?
You've got it.
What do I win?
You get to keep casting with me.
Oh, nice. Okay.
There's not much of a reason
Why are we attacking with Squall?
to grab any Pokemon, but honestly, just get things out of the deck, continue to search through, find those energies.
Yeah, I think we're going to see another Peony here.
I think there was a research
Oh,
as
research,
well.
Dude, yeah.
Dude, I got a chance.
You see, you know what?
Research is
I
probably
never
better.
want to see Iron Hands again until like next round against Comphase.
Dude, I got a chance. We'll see.
Great placement there.
Yeah, cool.
How does it feel to
That's a cool card.
not really do anything and watch your opponent live your dream of
Better
drawing
not have
cards?
another one.
You know, I never want to know that feeling. it's so unfortunate, and sure enough,
Oh,
Joe is going
no.
to lose his prized possession there in that Arceus V. It's got the choice belt, the 3 psychic energies, and it's gone.
All right, this is where the Arceus VSTAR comes off the top.
Just in time, right?
Oh.
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 See,
Coming
what,
back.
one card?
Hold on.
Yeah, restart. Oh, wait, we could boss's orders? Oh, no, you're going to boss's orders here, then draw the supporter.
I want to bring up Luminion.
He's going for a pity knockout in the Luminion.
2 cards. Pat to the peak, Raihan.
Wow.
We're cooking.
You can't
You
play two
can't?
supporters at once, buddy.
Yeah.
We got Raihan.
No, you
No,
don't.
yeah.
You played a boss.
Oh yeah. That's right. Actually, just traded Joe.
Oh, that's beautiful. There's
Oh,
nothing
wow.
there for Joe to work with. Pat to the peak. Counters the beach court, but the lightning energy counters Joe.
That was a game.
That was a game of Pokemon.
Yeah.
2024 is looking wild. I'll tell you that much.
Game 3s don't exist in 2024 Pokemon here. Well, your winner for round 5, Li Hui, moving to 5-0 here with the good old Miraidon EX.
Yeah, who said that lunch breaks were over?
Yeah.
Yeah, both players get to enjoy themselves a nice little break here with over 25 minutes remaining. It's got to be a great feeling for Lee, not only taking out a good player, but also to not have to stress over it.
Yeah.
It looked like a good time.